welcome to Gallery of Ideas. I can't believe it. We met not so long ago, and I've been completely wowed by you. I think we met in a room. There was not even Gallery of Ideas Club or anything, but it was such an amazing connection because you wrote to me on LinkedIn, and that immediate connection happened there. I wrote back, and then we start talking, and then suddenly you are with us every night, joining us on stage for Public Speaking Essentials series that we have on Clubhouse. I'm so happy to have met you, and I'm glad that you're here so we can know more about you and ask you the 11 questions that we have on the series for the people behind the voices. But before we get to the questions, just let us know a little bit more about yourself. A quick introduction to everyone here on the community of Gallery of Ideas.
Yes, great. Thank you, Patricia. Thanks for the invitation. And yes, indeed, it was very nice to meet you, and it's been a wonderfully organic experience to meet you and your fellow teammates on the Gallery of Ideas Clubhouse group. So yes, so I'm Michael Rickwood. I am Chief Coaching Officer of Ideas on Stage, and so I am a presentations coach, trainer, consultant, and I've been helping people to improve their presentations on many different levels for the past 15 years now. And I'm working with people in 4 different levels. So one is I help people with their content development, so strategy, brainstorming. I'm also helping people with their soft skills development, so public speaking, moderation, Q&A management. I also do workshops on leadership and also do executive coaching. And I'm also occasionally doing some slide work and slide design, and helping also to design workshops.
Amazing. You are such a versatile, do we say this word in English?
Versatile?
Versatile, yeah, versatile. You're such a versatile.
That was actually necessary because when we first started, there were 3 of us. And so we had to learn to do everything in order to survive. I had this pet name for a while, which was the 5-legged sheep. So.
And one of the things that I love about you is, already I told you several times, it's your voice and your accent. Where exactly are you from? Where you born and grew up, basically, which area? Because I know you have mixed influences in your background, but where is your accent really from?
Yeah, I was actually born in Southampton in the south of England, which is about 17 miles southwest of London. But that's not really where my accent is from. When I went to London in my early 20s, I trained as an actor at a school called the Drama Centre of London. And so I did a lot of voice work, a lot of training. And I think part of the conditioning of classical training for actors is that your accent tends to disappear and you get this kind of actor accent or this received pronunciation accent, which I kind of kept. And so there's not really much in the way of my Southampton accent, which I know that I had when I was a child.
And it's much stronger, no, as an accent?
It obviously depends on your background and where you're growing up.
I know some accents in England, like sometimes, depending which area, I can't understand what they're saying. Especially where my husband area, where they come from, in the East Midlands. Oh my goodness! Okay. Some of the accents there, I'm like, oh, can you
like Birmingham, Coventry? This area, yeah, sure. Every area has its strong version of the regional accent. So you could be, for example, in the Midlands. You could be in the Northeast, the Northwest. Actually, the Northwest is amazing. You have even between Liverpool and Manchester, which is like what, a 40-mile difference. You have 2 different accents.
An island. It's an island. It's an island. It's like, so small compared to Brazil when I think about it. Because Brazil, England could be like just a city inside Brazil. It's like. But anyway, let's get to our 11 questions today, because I'm very curious what's going to be your responses. We already had Dina with us here, Nicolo. This week I had also my Brazilian amazing colleagues that are also working on another project on Clubhouse, and we had an interview in Portuguese, but they replied and answered all the questions. Now with you, so let's let me put my glasses on and let's get started. So the first one, when did you first hear about Clubhouse, how was your reaction? What did you think about it? Were you skeptical at first?
No, I wasn't at all. No, I was very curious actually. It was actually my colleague Joe Ross who brought it up in our internal Slack channel and said that as part of a strategy for us to increase our visibility, it might be an idea to check it out. So I nominated myself as the person to do that, and so I was very curious, very interested. I love the idea of an audio format. I have to be honest with you, I struggle with social media over the years, partly because of being very busy, occupied with clients, not devoting enough time to it. But I do like the audio format. I think that it really allows us to share a part of ourselves and our expertise in a way that we haven't been able to do before. So
fantastic. Yeah, and with your voice, I mean, you're lucky. Right. Who
thank
brought you to Clubhouse? I mean, who is your, because we kind of have this madrina, padrino, godmother, godfather, someone that brought us, and we always have their name at the bottom of a profile. It's an important thing. So who brought you to Clubhouse? Who is this person?
Okay, so it was my dear colleague and Ideas on Stage founder, or one of the two founders. It was Phil Wecknell who sent me the cooking invite. He had them at the time, and so he gave a few of those out between the team, and I got one of them. So he is at the bottom of my profile.
Yeah, he's the one that made you.
That's correct. I actually have. I think I now have currently eight Clubhouse invites that I need to send out. So yeah, I need to find some targets myself.
Yeah, that's important. All right. So third one, which room, stage did you first speak on Clubhouse, and how was your first experience when you first entered a room and spoke for the first time? Where was it?
Well, actually, okay. There are two things. My first room that I went into was a room being run by a bunch of young guys called the Introduction Q&A to Clubhouse, which I think is a really great service. It's a guy run by a guy called I think his name is Praxis Higgins. So he and a few of the others. I think they're doing a great job. But it wasn't. Yeah, exactly. But it wasn't the first time I spoke. The first time I spoke was that I actually was in a room, I think, called Coffee House or something like that. And it was a kind of professionals room. And there were about 100 people in there, right? And they were having a discussion about pivoting in our careers. And so I was invited to speak, and the guy who brought me to stage is a very good moderator by the name of Cal Patel, who is has a lot of experience in consulting, and I think is also a venture capitalist and investor. And he brought me to the stage, and I started speaking. And this is something that is really important. Important to share, because I've noticed this a lot. When people are unexperienced on Clubhouse, they get their floor, and all of a sudden they get a chance to tell a little bit their story. So I'm calling it like the Oscar syndrome, right? Someone, and every actor, right, has this Oscar speech in their head, right? And so when someone says, "Okay, the floor is yours. Tell us a little bit about your story," you have the Oscar in your hand, and you just start speaking, right? And I found myself talking and talking about how I pivoted in my career, which I think is quite an interesting story, from basically actor to consultant. And before I knew it, I think I'd been speaking for 3 or 4 minutes. And then one of the guys in the audience, on stage, then asked me about acting. He said, "Oh, really? So how are you using acting in your business?" And all this sort of stuff. And then quite an angry Cal Patel stepped in, cut me off, and basically kicked me out, kicked me off the stage. He said, "That's enough. That's enough. You spoke for far too long. This is an inclusive platform. We really need to let others speak." And so that was my first time I spoke. And everyone who spoke afterwards kept their responses incredibly short. And then there's one lady who said, "Oh, okay, am I talking for too long? Because I just want to be clear." Now I certainly don't have any hard feelings with Cal, because actually what I did is I followed him, and he took me to probably one of my favorite rooms in Clubhouse, where I'm in every single day. And so I'm listening to Cal every day.
Don't say it yet, because it's another question that we have. Don't say your favorite.
Okay. Yeah.
So what an amazing experience. I mean, the first room you enter, which is, it's a hard one. The first time we speak on stage in Clubhouse, you have that feeling exactly like you described it. I like the way you described it with the Oscar, and you get your statuette and and you're like, okay, it's me now, it's my turn. And especially when you're new and you don't know where to go, which buttons to press. I remember I kept pressing the microphone on my photo. There's a little microphone on the photo. I didn't know it was down there, at the bottom. So all these things, and you're not really familiar with the app, so it's complicated. It's a bit stressful. So I can't imagine for you having this experience and not being traumatized and just shutting off and saying, okay, bye, I'm not using this app. It's awful. I don't like it. Instead, you gave an opportunity to continue, looking for more, and became friends with this guy. I mean, wow, bravo. That's an example to follow, because most people would just go like, oh yeah, this is stupid. They treat me bad. And sometimes we are like this. We're like kids, and many times we act like not really mature, and we just go, yeah, whatever, they didn't like me, so I just go, nobody cares.
Yes, no, of course. Okay, I can totally understand that reaction. It was, yes, of course, it's normal. I mean, no one wants to look stupid.
In the audience, come on.
Nobody wants to look stupid, but ultimately, it's like I used it as a learning experience, and by following the person into another room, I certainly found myself in an incredible space where I'm learning lots of things every day.
That's amazing. I have so much to learn from you. That's a good thing. But let's continue. Let's go to the next one. Sure. Right. Number 4. Yeah. Name your favorite room, your favorite club, and your favorite moderator.
Okay, so I mean, Clubhouse requires a lot of time, right? To think about it. I mean, it's a lot of time every day to invest in it, which I personally don't have all that much time. I've been in various rooms. There is, when it comes to public speaking, I haven't found that many rooms that I have been particularly keen on, although I do love our room, obviously, and I'm really enjoying working on this and building it up. But there was another room being run by a UK entrepreneur. Oh, darn it, I forgot her name. I have to find it. Jess Butcher, that's it. So she's running a room which is very good on Friday mornings, which she has every week with special guests. It's just once a week that she's running that. So sometimes I'm participating here, but otherwise I'm finding myself actually spending more time in tech rooms listening. And then there's one room in particular, which is the one which I followed Cal Patel to, which is tech news from around the world. Now, this is a very big room, so on average, there's 300 people in there. But I'm easily spending 1 or 2 hours a day listening to I never speak. I'm listening. Basically, the way I see it is that I'm a consultant and I'm working a lot in the tech sector. And these guys are really having, I would say 80% of the conversations they're having are very content intensive, very interesting. And I would say that the strongest speaker actually on stage is a guy by the name of Tyler Crowley, who has a long career in the tech industry, particularly in California, but also in Scandinavia. I think that he is consistently interesting in virtually everything he's talking about, without any ego or sort of a lot of this narcissism that I'm observing in many of the speakers in Clubhouse who tend to draw the conversation too much on themselves, whereas Tyler is really focusing on the issues, on the context, on the content, on what's happening. And so I think that for me is definitely very noteworthy.
All right, I'll write it down in the description of our video later. You send me the names and everything, so maybe someone else would like to check it out.
Okay.
Fantastic. So what about now, number 5? Have you ever been in a room with a very popular speaker, someone, celebrity, famous, someone that you admired? Wow.
I think there's someone called Patricia Curty who apparently is.
You good.
Honestly, celebrities, I don't know. I mean, again, in this tech room, there are some pretty, extremely well-known people within the tech circles, extremely wealthy people in the tech circles. But so far, I don't think I've come across anyone who's very famous. No one outside of the tech industry.
Do you like Dean Graziosi?
Sorry?
Do you like Dean Graziosi? Graziosi, I think I pronounced it correctly. Do you know him? He works with Tony Robbins a lot. They are now doing a big event worldwide, and he was.
No, I don't. I'm not.
Yeah, I was also listening to Brian Tracy and LeBron on a separate room. Yeah, there are some amazing popular speakers coming up. But sometimes they.
Can I just add?
Yeah.
Sorry, finish. Sorry, I interrupted you.
No, go ahead.
No, it's interesting because it's amazing to me is that because of the way that people are discovering Clubhouse and getting into Clubhouse, for example, there's someone in my industry who is extremely famous called Nancy Duarte. So she founded you may know her, right?
Yeah.
She founded Duarte Design. Well, her and her husband founded Duarte Design in California.
Yeah. I know that.
The best part, I think 20 years ago, I mean, I've read all her books. We're huge fans of her at Ideas on Stage. Basically, her and Gar Reynolds are two people who really influenced what we do greatly. Yeah. And the thing is, Nancy, I'm amazed. I found her profile. I liked her. I saw that she'd only had like 943 followers. But this woman is a complete total icon. In our circles, and here she's got a TED Talk which is seen by millions. And also, even someone like I was just curious the other day. I also was I went and found that the Clubhouse profile of Mary Trump, who you might know was the niece of Donald Trump, who wrote a book which kind of revealed everything about the family and basically what kind of person he is, right? So I would say that this woman. I say that Mary Trump is sometimes, I think, could be considered as the woman who saved America last year. I don't know if you want to edit
I have
this
to read now.
But she's only got 105 followers. So, the woman who saved America has 105 followers. So, it's all relative, isn't it?
On Clubhouse, yes, you have a lot of big celebrities with 100 to 100 followers because it's different. It's a different environment, right? It's a different situation there. You really have to be there often to start being heard and getting. I mean, you can drag other followers from other platforms you are in, but it's not really, as it's not really developed in Android. It's still working. The app is not able to be downloaded on Android. So we just have a limited amount of people on Apple that are there. And many people, they don't even know the app exists yet. Like yesterday, when we had Andres and Russell, my friends that I was very happy to see them on Clubhouse, I was talking to Andres and he said, I just heard about this today. I mean, the other day, it's like, never heard it before. So there are still a lot of people to discover. And many of these big celebrities, what's happening is their followers, they're not there. So yeah, they can have 1 million followers on YouTube or other platforms, but not on Clubhouse. And also the culture is a bit different. You have to, show up, or go on the stages and say hello to people. Otherwise, nobody's going to follow just because you are someone popular in other platforms. I guess that's what it makes so special, so Clubhouse. And if we think about celebrities these days, I mean, I was thinking about this the other day. It's not like when we grew up in the 90s or 80s that we had few celebrities in the world that everybody knew about it, right? Undoubtedly, like you knew Michael Jackson, you knew who Madonna was, you knew like some people, icons, Mick Jagger, all these people, you knew them. These days, there are so many celebrities because everyone can create amazing content in the different areas, communities, countries, and become a huge talent in that area. So the talent industry is just so broad now that I can say a name to you and you can go, I have no idea. And for me, I can think, how can you not know this person? He's so big, but it's big in my universe, not in yours. So it's very interesting the way the whole talent, famous celebrity world is going. There are anyone can create a video tomorrow on YouTube and become a huge celebrity in a certain area. Oh, look at these kids, they make millions on YouTube and they are just talking about video games all day long, and they are big celebrities in the field. One of the, I think the number one YouTuber, he's a little teenager and he's doing gaming. So, and they're probably making more money than an actor or an actress that worked his or her entire life to finally get to Hollywood and become, someone important in the industry, be able to be in a big movie or something. A lot of work and dedication and sacrifice. And then a kid from the other block comes on YouTube, release some games and make millions. It's just like, hey, it's changing. There's a big shift, that's for sure.
I think that's a good point. And it's true that the culture or the dynamic of celebrity is changing. And I guess it's becoming a little bit, it's presenting more opportunities for more people. Because if you look back in the 1950s, you had the golden idols of Hollywood. And then you had the rest of the world,
Yeah.
Everyone was focused on Marilyn Monroe. And
yeah,
that was it, right?
There's no more celebrities in the world. Yeah. So today we shouldn't be, we have to be careful, mindful of when people say a name and you say, oh, how come you don't know this person? Well, it's okay. It's not no, because it's so broad these days. Maybe my line of interest is so in another direction that I'm concentrating on listening to other thinkers, other people that are amazing as well, but are not famous in your universe. So, so that's an interesting conversation, maybe for another interview, Michael. Let's go. Let's keep going.
For sure.
Right. So the next one, number 6. Which are your passions that you think Clubhouse can offer you content on a daily basis that you keep going back? Passions related nothing to professional work or anything, just hobbies or passions that you have outside of work.
Yeah, I actually joined a few clubs which did reflect my passions. One was a drumming club, but I never figured out how to find any rooms. Another was an Australian DIY room who actually allowed me to become a member. But again, I never see when they have any rooms available and I have no time to look for them. And I think that's it. I did once, I'm also very interested in art. And I did join a room once people talking about art. But it's just a question of time, it's really a question of time. And at the weekends, I'm not on Clubhouse. I'm busy renovating my house. So
but you have to join Friday by Nico. Nico sometimes he comes on Gallery of Ideas and he plays his incredible selection of music. I don't know how he does it, but he has such a great mix of music from the past, modern and all kinds of genres. He's amazing. So you should check it out next time he's on Clubhouse.
Yes, I must find out more about what he's doing because I know he's a musician. He's playing the bass. So absolutely.
Yeah. All right. So number 7. Right. Which skills do you believe people needed in order to communicate effectively on Clubhouse?
Well, I wrote a few things down because this is important. I would say the first thing is listening. It's so important, isn't it? I spent a month, I think, the first month in Clubhouse. I didn't speak. I just listened. Mm-hmm. And I'm sure you found yourself in this position, Patricia, when you.
Me? No.
But anyone. Then you're on a stage, you're moderating a room, and someone speaks.
Oh yeah, of course.
And then you realize you haven't taken in anything they've said, and it's down to you to comment on it. So listening is extremely important, and it requires energy and practice.
Especially for moderators.
Yeah, for sure. But even if you want to, even if you're on stage and you're being invited to speak, you still have to take into account what other people have said. Well, ideally. So I think for me, listening is really the most important skill. Yeah. Afterwards, brevity, knowing when to keep it short. Simple as that. Because I learned that the very first time I opened my mouth.
That was a good. Yeah.
Third thing is self-awareness. So always keeping a kind of third eye on things, trying to see what the dynamic is, what's going on, and monitoring yourself. And then finally is patience. This is a long game. This is not. let me see if I can crash various different rooms, speak for 5 minutes, and then disappear. I don't think people are going to react to that very well.
No.
I think if you're going to come in, you participate, but you stay, you listen to others. But this sort of room hopping to raise your profile and get followers, I think that's I don't think that's a good approach, and I don't think that's good for anyone's image or credibility.
Mm. Yeah, I think that the rooms are kind of life in real life experiences. For example, there are some rooms, they're like you are entering a dinner party. There are some other rooms you are entering a concert. You're just listening. There's only one person on stage speaking or doing something. There are other rooms where you're entering a pub. It's very informal. People just having a drink together. And depending on what is the situation, you have to adapt, because if you're going to a dinner, you're invited to a dinner party, you gotta stick around. You don't go eat and disappear, right? If you are in a pub, maybe just having a drink, we can tell I'm just here for a drink and then I gotta go. Fine. So it's like you said, we need self-awareness and understand the different dynamics of each room. No? Yeah, I think that's
a great analogy. The whole dinner party thing. It's a great analogy, and it's like coming to a dinner party just to drink the champagne. So you come in, get your glass of champagne, and then leave. Yeah. It can't work like that. You're not going to be very popular.
No. And you're not going to get invited again. That's for sure. All right. No. So next one. Do you think you will make real life friends on Clubhouse? People that you're going to meet outside of Clubhouse eventually one day?
Absolutely. Totally agree. I totally think that is, yes, totally think that's true. And this is great because I now have a second reason to go to Barcelona, because I actually have a colleague, Ricardo Bonis, as I mentioned, who's got ideas on stage Spain up and running, which is essentially our design center. And so he's a great friend. I've known him now for 8 years. I've been working with him. So he's a really great guy. And yes, with your good self also in Barcelona, this is another great reason to come to Spain. I'm actually a regular visitor to Spain. As I said, I have my eldest son, Pablo, who's down in Seville, currently at Seville University studying history. And so I love Spain. I mean, in particular Andalusia. I know Andalusia very well. I also love Portugal, but I do love Barcelona. I've been to Barcelona, I think, already 4 or 5 times. It's a beautiful city. It's one of those rare cities in the world that has 3 great things. 1, jobs. 2, culture. 3, a beach. Now, there's not many cities with those 3 things. It's amazing, and there's very few. You've got like, what is it? Tel Aviv is another one. Sydney. Probably a couple of places in California. I mean, there's others, but there's not that many. Look at Paris. I mean, Paris has those first two things, but it doesn't have a beach. They try to put sand along the Seine, right? Because they know it's important, but
no, it's not the same. For me, I mean, I live right in front of the sea here in Barcelona, and every morning have my coffee on the terrace and look at the sea and just start my day, get inspiration. Sometimes I go down and walk, not every day, but just being able to see it from my terrace, it's something that I remember was one of the prerequisites to find an apartment in Barcelona. I said, I need an apartment where I can even see a little bit, even if it's from a little window from the bathroom, I need to see the sea. So yeah, this is a nice area, and also very nice for the kids. So it's perfect. But I think for us, for our group that is growing and we're getting to know more and more people, one day when all this pandemic is over and we all vaccinated and all good, I think we should do a big party in Ibiza, get everybody to fly to Ibiza and do like a whole weekend, like crazy,
that'd be awesome.
Times. No?
That'd be awesome. Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, I'm going to organize, good organizing events. I'm going to be organizing this one. Hopefully, I don't think it's going to happen this summer, but maybe next summer,
Yeah.
I think
it's a great idea.
Right. Yeah. Let's go. Let's move on to the next one, which is number 9. Have you been, okay, you already said about this one. Have you been in an awkward situation so far? And can you tell us which one? Well, you've been on that one first today, but anything?
Yeah, so I've already mentioned one. I haven't, apart from that, I haven't had any awkward situations apart from I suppose there was one situation where you had a troll in the room. I think the trolls are the times when it's been a bit strange.
Yeah.
People who there was a woman who came in pretending to have a nervous breakdown, and it was a room full of life coaches, and they were all trying to coach her. It became very, very obvious that she was pulling their leg. And then once everyone read her bio, they could see that she was a troll, and she just disappeared. But the life coaches kind of felt a little bit silly. But this is so I think one has to be careful with that. There was another troll who was very I found him extremely toxic, who was managing to barge his way into many of the big rooms, and I didn't know how he was doing it. And I think at first people were quite charmed by him, but then I think he quickly got irritating, and he's completely disappeared now from Clubhouse. I don't know how people are managing to do that. So he was coming in and sort of talking about a lot of weird stuff, which is out of the context of the conversation, and then he would center the conversation on himself. He was very camp and very narcissistic, and I personally found him quite toxic. I think the others in the rooms, particularly there was one room, big room that I mentioned earlier, that they would allow him in on stage to talk, and I didn't understand why he was being given the platform for so long. Because maybe because they felt that he was entertaining, I don't know, but it lowered the quality. Actually, the room. I actually found myself leaving on 2 occasions when he was invited to speak, because I just couldn't stand listening to him.
Yeah, you have, oh goodness, yeah, you have these trolls that are very annoying.
Yeah.
It's a shame, because if you allow them on the stage, I think it's the job of the moderator to quickly figure out that they are trolls, and then politely just invite them back to the audience. That's how it should be done, because you cannot have they will disturb. They will just be, if they cannot speak, they will disturb if they stay on the stage. I've seen too many trolls already. But anyway, that's another discussion as well.
But it's an amazing thing, isn't it? But at least Clubhouse aren't allowing people to change their names, right? So once you're a troll for life. I mean, normally, right? Unless you.
Another thing that I think we should be mindful of, it's the picture that people are putting, cartoons and stuff. I think if someone has a picture or no picture at all, has a picture of a car or a cartoon, I think we shouldn't somehow say, look, it's not okay to be on stage. You have to show your face. Like Paul Davison, he was saying in one of the town halls, he's saying, look, show your face, I mean, that's it. It's as simple as that. It should be a real platform of real people, not just logos and cartoons and because then you don't know who you're talking. It's just a weird thing to be talking to a photo of a car, no? Don't you think?
Yeah.
It's
not a good sign. It's not
or a photo or a logo of somebody. Okay, you can have. I saw actually in the room, someone had a logo, and then there was a lot of that logo was talking. But then I realized that logo was a studio, and there was a lot of people in that studio talking. Right. So I could picture everyone together, different microphones in the studio, in a radio studio maybe, and the logo. You could hear the different voices coming from that account. So in that case, I think it's okay because it's professional. It's someone broadcasting from a studio. There are guests in there, and they just, instead of going to one individually, you're not going to have everybody's phone on the studio. They're connecting with their own accounts. So in that case, it's fine. But apart from that, I don't see any point of putting an image that is not yourself, even if it's from.
That's a really good point. I think that's something that we should talk about this in the room one night. I think it's a great topic.
Yeah. Well, you always have great ideas about the title, so think about this one.
Sure. Pleasure.
Well, you're so creative with the titles. I love it. All right, let's move on. I'm losing my voice.
Watch that.
Yeah. Do you have plans? Do you have plans to have maybe a club one day? Anything in your mind?
Yes, I suppose so. Initially my plan was is to set up something with our brand on it. Well, I'll see how it goes. It's not my objective anymore. I mean, I think it'll be a pleasant result once I actually get the opportunity to create a club. But actually now I'm just more interested in learning and collaborating. And for example, collaborating in this room. I think meeting like-minded people who want to practice, like we had in our conversation last night. And actually, honestly, I'm getting so much personal development from Clubhouse. I can honestly say that I just couldn't access before. I mean, I'm regularly giving webinars and trainings, but I felt that they're not always the greatest place where I can practice, and you can't always, failing is sometimes not an option. But in Clubhouse, there's a little bit more slack, and I think it's important to be exposed to situations where we can practice our skills, we can practice moderating, we can learn stuff, meet others. So that's why I'm doing it. Right.
Yeah, every day when we're there, yeah, every day we learn something new about ourselves and about others, and it's a fantastic experience. I'm so glad. There was a room yesterday. I go every morning to this room. It's called the Breakfast with Winners. It's the Winners Club, and I go there. And yesterday they had a topic. Yesterday, the day before, they had a topic about what was the best advice that you had early, recently. For me,
I know that room.
Yeah,
I know that room. Yeah.
I was thinking the best advice that I had was from Adrian Miller, my friends that actually invited me to come to Clubhouse, because he invited me several times and I was too busy to pay attention. I was like, no, I don't have time for this. What is it? Another app? I was like, I'm too busy doing my things. And then one day we were celebrating his daughter's birthday. We had a longer chat on that occasion. And he's like, Patsy, you really have to enter Clubhouse because it's unbelievable. Trust me. So that was, I think, the best advice that I had in the recent times, someone that told me to come here because I am enjoying so much and I'm meeting so many great people like yourself and having the opportunity to share these moments, even if it's an hour a day, but it's so priceless. We take it for granted. Yeah, we take it for granted, but we are creating a mastermind group, and with these people, and some of them, they are now residents, right? They come back every night. So it's fantastic. So.
Yeah, which is nice that because you can start to build a relationship with these people. So that is very pleasant, and as you get to know people, you can also rely on them to make good contributions. And this is a thing. It's really important as well, is that you can't open a room and do it on your own. You really need you need others. And I think that's another thing about Clubhouse, is that you need others. You can't do this alone. You can't run a room on your own.
No.
You need to at least 3 or 4 of you to really shift the responsibility of communicating the content, listening, answering the questions, and I think with our room, you've got terrific moderation skills, very generous as well, really good at getting people to open up. We've got John, who is extremely, experienced and knowledable. I'm learning so much from him.
His name is sophistication in public speaking.
And of course, the others, Dina and Nicola as well. Have a lot to offer. Very, again, very kind, very, very motivated. Lots of great perspectives, and so I'm personally getting a lot out of that collaboration. And I'm learning a lot actually about the process of collaborating outside of my team, which I think is very, very refreshing.
Yeah, terrific. Right, so the last one. Define Clubhouse in one sentence, and then we go to the end of our interview. One sentence.
I got 3 words: opportunity, growth, new friends. Well,
Ooh,
4
I
words.
like that. Opportunity, growth, new friends. Oh, there's so much in there. Wow, we could talk for another hour just on these 3 words. But thank you so much, Michael. Thank you so much for your time this morning. Thank you so much for joining us every night. We are doing, I think, this amazing master group, and everyone is invited. That's the beauty of Clubhouse. It's a master group that is not closed just, to certain people, right? It's open to the world. So I appreciate your time and collaboration and everything that you do. Thank you so much.
Yeah, looking forward to seeing how it develops. And I'm very, very invested, very interested, and I'll be there. Yeah, I'll be there.
All right.
Motivated to do that.
Have a good day then, and I send you a Brazilian kiss.
Okay. Thank you.
What is the French?
It's